Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, let's go over, it's a Monday. Not the Monday I was personally looking forward to seeing, but it's fine. Again, like I said, sometimes the market, especially nowadays, is very, it keeps you on your toes, let's just say that. It's a very unpredictable market. Very bipolar of a market, in all honesty. So let's take a look at Tesla. So at the end of the day, down actually 1.73%. We were up like 2% at one point as well. I think maybe even 3% at some point. I can't remember. Around like 950-ish we went to, I think, right here, 947. And then that just not only went away, which was, by the way, a massive bait, because the push that we had right here was like a disgusting bull trap, like absolutely nasty. Like even on the 5-minute, some of the candles ended, actually closed above, bounced off a few times, and it seemed like really good. It's like, okay, nice. Not only we push over, but it's showing support at this, like 940, 937-ish level. I'm like, fantastic. That's exactly what we want to see. That's like perfect. Now we can push for 980. I can sell my calls. And I was waiting for that. And it was the biggest bull trap ever. Like, I didn't really do anything with this. Obviously, I was waiting to hopefully, hope this would confirm and then push up to around, this 980. That's what I thought would happen. Clearly, it didn't happen. And yeah, this market is extremely unpredictable, guys. So taking a look again, overall, I still think the pattern itself looks fairly bullish, short term, of course. Like, I'm still expecting a move up to 980. That's my current price target, honestly, for this week. 980 is my price target. If we're lucky, 1,000, but I think conservatively, or not conservatively, but realistically, I think 980 is definitely where we're going to push. I'll be pretty surprised if we break above 1,000. So I'm expecting 980, for sure, 980. Like, well, not for sure, obviously, but, I'll be a little surprised if we don't touch 980 like tomorrow or like something, maybe Wednesday. So taking a look at the 1 hour, let's say, there's actually a pretty interesting pattern. So number one, of course, we did break out of this downward trend that we were in. Broke out last week. I think it was like Friday or Thursday. So we broke out and we kind of, maintained above it for the most part, which is fine. Bounced off of it a few times. Everything looks fine there. Nothing too concerning or whatever, which is good. Now, like I mentioned also last week, we do have an inverse head and shoulders, right? This being the head and then the two shoulders right here. I did say that this, ideally a touch to, the gap fill would be perfect, because not only would it be a gap fill, which is great, get that out of the way, but it would also mean that the head and shoulders pattern kind of sets up a little more textbooky, if that makes sense, right? Because this would be the neckline, or this would be the neckline would be up here, but it would just, I don't know, the shoulders would like correlate to each other, and it would just look prettier, I guess. Just it would just make more sense. It would be like a more pretty kind of textbook, obvious inverse head and shoulders. But I mean, even if it doesn't, this is still fine. It's just this would be better. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that if you go on, you can kind of see it here, but if you go on like a smaller time frame, you can kind of see we're almost setting up like an even smaller inverse head and shoulders within that inverse head and shoulders that I just showed you, being the shoulder. This being the head, shoulder, and then we're setting up the shoulder right here, right now, right? So shoulder, head, shoulder. So it's almost as if we're setting up a very, like a mini inverse head and shoulder within this kind of slightly bigger head and shoulder pattern, which is good. I mean, in theory, of course. Now, again, guys, don't forget this market is extremely choppy. Like, look at the SPY, look at the QQQ, right? Like, look at this, like up and down everywhere. And then like this massive sell-off towards the end of the day. I don't know what happened here, but towards the end of the day, the whole market just like sold off like extremely aggressively. Obviously, Tesla got hit by that just as much as everything else, pretty much. Just an extreme sell-off at the end of the day. And then like a massive buy the last like 5 minutes. An extremely choppy market, which is like, it's pretty suspicious. I'm not gonna lie. It's not ideal to see these kind of things, right? Like, especially for something like the indices moving like this, almost like a penny stock. It's very like, I don't know. It kind of makes you want to raise your eyebrows a little bit. Or I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit awkward, but nonetheless, I'm still expecting a move to 980. Like, that's my current price target. Like, ideally tomorrow or Wednesday is my is the ideal time I would expect to see that price target. Tomorrow or Wednesday, 980. The thing was that Thursday, we have the CPI data coming out. Very important. I think the estimated projection is 7.2%. So if we go anything above 7.2%, this market is collapsing. Oh, not collapsing, but it's going to get hit. Like, it's going to hurt quite a bit. If it's at 7.2% or maybe slightly below, like 7.1, maybe even 7, but 7.1 or 7.2, I mean, that's expected. So I think we might rally off of that a little bit and then potentially get a small sell-off after that. And if it's anything below 7, well, that's great news. And then I think we just rally. So that's going to be a pretty important day, Thursday. So we'll see how that happens. But I'm hoping that before then, we can get this rally to 980, which I'm expecting again tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm personally going to happen. I'm going to sell calls. The second we get to 980, if we do, or at least somewhere close to it, I'm instantly selling calls. I'm going to be selling some calls, fairly safe around for 1060 for this week, Friday. And then I'm going to sell another call probably pretty aggressively for like, honestly, maybe even 1,000, because I really don't think we're breaking 1,000 this week. So I'm probably going to be selling like 3 fairly safe ones, which again, around this area, which is 1060, and then one pretty aggressive one around pretty much 1,000 if we get to 980, because I honestly don't think we're pushing breaking 1,000. The only way we break 1,000 this week is if Thursday CPI data comes in under 7%. If that comes in under 7%, I think that's going to be great for growth stocks and the stock market in general. It's going to ease inflation concerns. And I think we'll see a rally. I really do. But I also don't think we'll see under 7%, which is a problem. But you never know. Honestly, you never know. We'll see. So that's kind of my current thoughts, guys. And that's essentially what I'm expecting. Again, still bullish, of course, for the short term. Still expecting a move to 980. After that, we'll see. We will reevaluate. But the 980 touch will essentially be, again, touching the top part of this. Then off of that, there's a chance you get rejected, potentially fall back down. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, this is, if I had to predict the next like 2-3 weeks, run up to 980, slash the top of this, channel, get rejected, CPI comes in, horrible, sucks, market gets slapped down, we fall back down, gap fill somewhere around this level, and then off of that, we rally up and break through this actual massive bull flag that we've been in for like months at this point, and off of that, I think we rally to all-time highs. That's my current projection. That's what I'm currently expecting to happen the next weeks slash months out. But again, very short term this week's, maybe next week, 980 push, and then we'll see from there. So either way, guys, that's it for this video. That's essentially what I'm projecting and seeing coming up. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and if you're bullish, not bullish. Again, the market's choppy, guys, so make sure you're not playing with any. Unless you're very experienced and you know exactly what you're doing, I highly recommend not touching short-term options right now. Not financial advice, of course. I would be really careful buying short-term options. Selling short-term options could be quite profitable, in all honesty. Buying, however, very risky, because you can just lose your money, bam, just like that. It's crazy. Like, imagine if you were playing the SPY and you got bullish right here. You bought some weekly calls on the SPY, and then this happened. Yeah, those calls you just bought are toast. Not looking so hot on those calls right now, I'll be honest. So, again, be careful, guys, with those short-term options right now. Buying them specifically. Selling is fine, I think. I think this is the market to sell options, if anything. Buying, however, very, very, very risky. But either way, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys for tomorrow. Peace.